Hey, what's up everyone? I am in the van alone today, so I thought this would be a perfect time to talk about period hacks and hygiene and other questions related to basically having your monthly flow while living in the van. If you are new around here, my name is Crystal. I live half the time in the van by myself and the other half the time with my husband. So let's get into it. I know that one of my kind of hesitations about living in a van was having my period and wondering if I was going to be able to clean myself the way I wanted to and that it was going to be a comfortable experience. I really like having a pleasurable experience with my period, as I'm sure many of you do as well. So if you're having those hesitations, we're going to go over some of the common questions that come up on, how to handle it, like where are you going to the bathroom, how are you going to clean yourself, all those different things. So the 3 points we're going over today are going to be tips for living van life and having a period, monthly flow, ant flow, your moon time, whatever you want to call it. We're also going to be going over products that help support not making a big mess basically in a van and just making the experience a little bit easier. And then I'll be going over hygiene and then also cleaning of some of those products as well. Okay, tip number one, and I think this is a very important one, is make sure to be tracking your period. Get a period tracker app or track it on an old school calendar on paper, whatever you need to do. If you are not regular, you do not know for sure what date that your monthly flow will start. The reason being is that when you live in a van, especially if you don't have a toilet in the van or a shower, you're going to want to make sure to either be closer to facilities just because it'll be more comfortable for you, so you can stay at a campground for 1 or 2 days if that's something you want to do, just to make it a little bit more of a comfortable experience and so you can shower every day, or just so you can stock up on supplies before you head out. This is so important in your travels to kind of be ready, or just at least stock up ahead of time, like get more supplies so you're ready for the next time. If you know that you like to be somewhere with no cell service, not a lot of people around, and pretty far from cities, so preparing ahead is really important. Next up on the list is one of my personal favorites. I've been using these for a few years now and they are such a game changer. I actually don't know what I would do if I didn't have them in a van. I use these even when I lived in a house, but now I feel that they're absolutely necessary, and that is period panties. Now, there are several different brands which I'll link down below because you might like the styles of one versus the other. These are Thinks right now that I have, and I love them because they come in high-waisted, and I just like high-waisted underwear. But, you do you. Find something that works. Basically, if you've never heard of period panties before, they're underwear that can absorb blood, and they can absorb up to about 3 to 4 tampons worth of blood, which is awesome, because even if you are going to use tampons or a cup, those can leak, especially if you have a heavy period and you're in a van and you don't have a toilet. You might be basically having to park side alongside a public restroom all day long to run back and forth, and that's not really ideal. So I highly recommend having period panties of some sort. That way they just have extra protection. I use a cup, and then I also wear these for my first day or two of my period, and then after that my flow is pretty light and I can just stick to the period panties. These are just an extra in case, because I don't want to have to also run to a laundromat in case I do have any leakage, so to speak, and then it's just kind of an extra thing that I have to do. I have to move from where I'm at to go to a laundromat, so it's better just to have kind of that extra protection when you live in a van. So if you have a heavy period, that's something I would definitely think about, is having these as a backup. The other thing I want to mention that is I have found so incredible is that they have period panties, but they're included in different things. You can get workout shorts that have the period panties included, which is awesome. And then you can also get sleep shorts. These are one of my pairs of sleep shorts from Thinks, and I love them, because the last thing I want to do is have an accident in the bed, which I did before, and I got blood on the sheets, couldn't go to a laundromat, and then we had to rearrange our schedule. It was just kind of a little bit of a headache. You can't soak your sheets right away. That's something else to think about. You don't have a washer and dryer, so if you ruin a pair of pants or anything else, you can use some of your water, of course, if you have a sink. Most people do have a sink in their van, but when it comes to sheets, I don't know where you're going to put your sheet. So sleep shorts to me are an absolute must when living in a van. Also, if you're wondering, well, what am I going to do with them though after I use my period panties? And that was one of my kind of thought processes, because I'd used them before, is how am I going to clean them? I don't want to get blood on my other stuff. I don't want to just throw them in a laundry bag or anything like that. Here's a tip on cleaning them. These are clean right now, so you don't have to see anything. But basically what I'll do is every day at the end of the day, I'll take either 1 or 2 or however many I wore, and I have a bowl dedicated to just cleaning my period panties. You can just use your sink though. It's not like you have to have a bowl. But I'll put water in this, and then I'll go ahead and use water and kind of do a little scrub just to get that excess blood, and kind of do a pre-wash, a pre-rinse before actually taking them to the laundry. So I'll do that at the end of the every day, and then I'll hang them on our clothesline, or I'll hang them outside or place them on our dashboard while they dry. If we're kind of boondocking and nobody's going to see them, then I might just put them outside on a piece of string, tie them between a tree, or you can just hang them off of your windows outside on your van. And then after they're done drying, then you can go ahead then and put them in your regular laundry bag. One thing I do want to mention, if you're in the middle of a van build, is definitely make sure you have a dedicated laundry space somewhere you know you're going to put your laundry, because generally you wear the clothes more often in a row than you do living like regular city life or whatever. Your clothes might smell a little bit more because you've worn them multiple days in a row. Just gonna put that out there. So have a dedicated laundry space, and then you can throw these in once they're dry. Now, also, I would recommend about every 3 to 4 washes, or if you notice they kind of start having this metal smell, some of the period panties can do this after a while. Some people say it takes them about a year to get that smell. I would say that's pretty accurate for mine. So every 3rd wash that I do, after I've already done the pre-wash and everything, when I get to the laundromat, I'll sit there for about 15 minutes while these are soaking in a mixture of white vinegar and water, and then I'll just place all my period panties that I wore for the month into the bowl with that mix and let them sit, and that'll help get rid of that metal smell. And then I'll take them into the laundry, and we'll dump out this water first, and then I'll take them in and put them into the wash. So that's just like an extra little cleaning step, but it's really not much of a nuisance. You just have to have some sort of container basically to do it. Next up that I mentioned earlier is I use a cup. It's a menstrual cup. There's many different brands. I think the largest one is Luna and Diva Cup. You can find them often at health food stores, or you can order them online on Amazon. I'll link a couple down below so you can check them out. Some brands work better for different women. We all have different shapes. If you've tried it before and you're like, I didn't like it, you just might need to try a different brand, or maybe it's not for you. I use this instead of tampons. 1, I find it's a little easier in a van, and 2, just for health reasons, because tampons are often bleached. Just something to think about, you know, but each to their own, you know, with this experience. So I use a menstrual cup. The one thing about this I will say is that you can easily go to the restroom, you take it out basically, and then you dump it, and then you're supposed to rinse it after each use. But sometimes when you're in a public restroom, that's not necessarily ideal. But if you can at least rinse it out once a day, just to keep it clean, keep it a little bit more sanitary. You can also just get a water bottle. You know, if you've used a public restroom and then you come into your space and you're away from people, you can just use a water bottle and do it in your sink, or your regular water in your sink, or use the water bottle outside and just rinse this. So that's one way to do it. But I find these work great, but I do like them with the period panties because they do leak a little bit. Next up is a staple in every van dweller's tiny home, and that is baby wipes. Baby wipes are a pretty big necessity because I don't know anyone that takes a shower every day that lives in a van because you tend to conserving water. Otherwise you have to fill up all the time, unless you're always hanging out at a campground, and that's cool too. But baby wipes work well in between showers. The one thing I will mention is be mindful of the brand of baby wipes you get. I'll leave a link below in the description to check out ewg.org, I believe it is, where you can see if there's any concerns about the ingredients that are in the baby wipes. They'll kind of have like a scoring system to see if there's any toxins, anything you should be aware of, because your vagina pH levels are sensitive, and so you just want to make sure and use something that is appropriate for that area. But having these on hand as kind of an in-between shower is so nice. I use them multiple times a day, and just make sure you have some sort of garbage in your van. I mean, that's necessary. We're all gonna generate some sort of garbage. So, and then you can just empty them right into your van, but that allows you to clean in between, and then using water as needed. You can put more water on these, put an extra bit of like Dr. Bronner's, do a little clean in between your showers, but they're an absolute must. If anything, this is the one thing where I'm like, you need a Costco amount when you purchase these if you have the extra storage in your van, because you will go through them. Last but not least is kind of, I don't know if it's an odd choice, but I would say it's something that I did for all our pillows and our mattress, and that is get protectors. So I got some breathable, eco-friendly mattress protector. I got a mattress protector and I got pillow protectors. You don't have to do that for a period, but I did that just to save our mattress in case there was an accident. We also have one other fitted sheet just in case anything happens, so that we don't have to sleep on our mattress if, you know, that's the deal, or you don't want to get the period panties, you don't like them for whatever reason, is just get the mattress protector. You also are living in a van and it tends to be more adventure oriented, so it's just nice having that extra layer of protection in case there is a mishap. So that's another product that I really like to use. One of the products that I personally had to bring in the van when we first started van life was a hot water bottle. So you can purchase these babies online. Again, I'll put a description down below, or you can get them at like Walgreens or Rite Aid or another kind of pharmacy type store, I would say. You can also purchase, like, they'll sometimes come in an enema kit. I really like these old school water bottles because generally I just fill it up with water and then I'll heat it on our stove, and then you can use it if you have cramps, if you have back cramps or, you know, abdominal cramps, and you can put it right here and it's just so soothing. I do this too because when you live in a van, you also have long drives, so it's kind of multi-purpose and it takes up no room. This has water in it right now, but these things fold up so tiny. I think this is absolutely incredible. The heat can really help with cramps so much. And it can also help you sit up just a little bit more straight if you are driving or in the passenger seat and it's filled with water. It's quite soothing and just helps with posture just a little bit. That wraps up this video all on period hacks and hygiene related to your bleed. I hope that you enjoyed this video and it gave you some good tips and gave you an idea of what to kind of look forward to, is what I would say. If you have any questions at all about living in a van as a person who bleeds, or just anything else for that matter, be sure to leave them below. And if you like this video, please give it a like and leave a comment and subscribe, and be sure to hit that bell because otherwise you won't get any notifications. Much love to you all, and I'll see you all next week.